It's late. The roads are almost completely empty. No traffic, no horns, no one changing lanes in front of you. Just the quiet hum of the engine, the road stretching into the distance, and enough space around you to finally breathe. And somehow, you feel different, calmer, more focused, more like yourself. Most people would say you simply enjoy driving. Maybe you like cars, maybe you hate traffic, maybe you just prefer being alone. But psychology suggests there may be something deeper happening. Because for certain minds, an empty road isn't just a place to drive. It is a rare environment where the brain finally stops negotiating with the world. No unpredictable drivers, no constant interruptions, no social expectations, no decisions being forced on you every 3 seconds. Just you, the machine, and a road behaving exactly the way you expect it to. And if you find yourself craving that feeling, there may be something interesting about the way your mind processes the world. Welcome to mechanical psychology. Your brain loves predictability. Think about what happens when you're driving through heavy traffic. A car brakes, someone merges, a pedestrian appears, a motorcycle moves between lanes, a driver suddenly changes direction. Your brain has to constantly predict what other people are going to do. This is called cognitive load. Your brain is spending energy monitoring possibilities. What will that car do? Will they stop? Will they merge? Should I slow down? Should I move over? You're not simply driving, you're continuously calculating. But an empty road changes the equation. There are fewer variables, fewer surprises, fewer decisions. The road becomes predictable, and predictability gives the brain something incredibly valuable: cognitive relief. You don't have to constantly react. You can anticipate. You can settle into a rhythm.
And for people who naturally spend a lot of time thinking, analyzing, or observing their surroundings, that reduction in mental noise can feel almost addictive. The empty road doesn't give your brain more stimulation, it gives it less unnecessary stimulation. And sometimes, less is exactly what an intelligent mind wants. 2. You finally get control back. There is another reason empty roads feel so satisfying: control. Not control over other people, control over your own environment. In everyday life, most of your time is spent responding to things you didn't choose: messages, deadlines, people, notifications, appointments, traffic, other people's decisions. Your environment constantly tells you what to do next. But when the road is empty, the relationship changes. You choose the speed, you choose the direction, you decide when to accelerate, when to slow down, when to stop. The machine responds directly to your decisions, and that creates something psychologists sometimes associate with perceived control. Your actions produce immediate consequences. Turn the wheel, the car turns. Press the accelerator, the car moves. Brake, the machine slows. There is almost no translation between intention and outcome, and the human brain loves that, especially when the rest of life feels complicated. 3. The machine gives your mind immediate feedback. This is where driving becomes psychologically different from many modern activities. Your phone can take your attention for hours without giving you any physical sense of what your actions are doing. But a machine is different. You interact with it physically. You hear the engine, you feel the steering, you sense acceleration. Every movement creates feedback. This is called a sensory motor loop. Your brain acts, the machine responds. Your senses detect the response, then your brain adjusts, again and again. On an empty road, this loop becomes incredibly clean. You aren't fighting against dozens of competing signals. You're communicating with one physical system. And eventually, you stop consciously thinking about every movement. Your hands know where to go. Your feet know how much pressure to apply. Your eyes read the road before you consciously process it. The machine becomes an extension of your body. That feeling is often called flow. And when you're in flow, time starts disappearing. 4. You don't necessarily want speed. This is where people misunderstand drivers who love empty roads. They assume the attraction is speed, but often it's not. It's freedom from interruption. There's a difference. You can drive slowly on an empty road and still experience the same psychological satisfaction, because the reward isn't necessarily going faster. The reward is having enough space to act without constantly adjusting to everyone else. Imagine trying to think while 10 people keep interrupting you. Now imagine sitting alone in a quiet room. The difference isn't your intelligence, it's your environment. An empty road can become that quiet room, except instead of sitting still, you're moving. And movement itself can help organize thought. This may explain why some people suddenly have their best ideas while driving. Problems that felt complicated at home suddenly become simple behind the wheel. You weren't necessarily searching for the answer. Your brain finally had enough uninterrupted space to find it. 5. Empty roads remove social pressure. There's another layer most people don't talk about. When you're surrounded by other people, you're constantly aware of them, how you're being perceived, what they're doing, whether you're in their way, whether you're driving correctly. Even when you don't consciously notice it, your brain is monitoring the social environment.
But an empty road removes most of that. Nobody is watching. Nobody is judging your driving. For a few minutes, you don't have to perform. You can simply exist. And that can be incredibly restorative, because humans spend enormous amounts of energy adapting themselves to social environments. The empty road temporarily removes the audience, and when the audience disappears, your behavior becomes more natural. Your breathing slows, your attention moves inward. You aren't escaping reality, you're temporarily escaping social noise. Have you ever noticed that problems sometimes become easier to understand while driving? A conversation from earlier suddenly makes sense. A decision you've been avoiding becomes obvious. A problem you've been obsessing over suddenly feels smaller. That's because driving occupies just enough of your attention to prevent your mind from becoming trapped in repetitive thought. You're watching the road, feeling the steering, monitoring your speed, listening to the machine. Your brain has something rhythmic to do, and that can create space for a different kind of thinking. Instead of deliberately forcing yourself to solve a problem, your mind begins making connections in the background. It's one reason repetitive activities can sometimes encourage creative thought. Showering, driving, running, working with your hands. They give the conscious mind a simple task while allowing other mental processes to operate underneath. The empty road becomes a moving meditation, but because you're doing something simple enough for your mind to breathe. And now we get to the deeper part. Maybe you don't actually love empty roads. Maybe you love what happens to you when you're on them. Think about the person you become. You're more patient, more observant, less distracted, more focused, more aware of your surroundings. The road isn't creating those traits, it's revealing them. This is what I would call mechanical alignment. Mechanical alignment is the psychological attraction towards environments where your intentions, physical actions, and sensory feedback all line up clearly. You think, you act, the machine responds. You adjust, it responds again. There is very little ambiguity, and some people naturally feel better in environments like that. They don't necessarily want chaos. They don't necessarily want constant stimulation. They want clarity. That's why the empty road can feel almost therapeutic. Everything becomes simpler. One direction, one machine, one decision at a time. The hidden trait. But there is one more reason intelligent people may love empty roads, and it's not intelligence, it's autonomy. Some people don't simply want freedom, they need enough autonomy to think clearly. They become uncomfortable when every decision is influenced by someone else's behavior. They hate unnecessary interference, and an empty road removes it. For a short period of time, nothing is demanding your attention. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to perform. You simply move. And maybe that's why the empty road feels so different, because modern life constantly asks you to process more information,
more opinions, more people, more decisions. But the empty road asks for something completely different: presence. Look ahead. Feel the steering. Listen to the engine. Make one decision, then another. And for a few miles, the world becomes incredibly simple. Maybe that's why you keep searching for empty roads. Not because you're trying to escape the world, but because it's one of the few places where you can finally hear yourself think. And perhaps the strangest thing about the empty road is that the farther you drive away from everyone else, the closer you sometimes get to yourself. This is mechanical psychology.